Hello and welcome to today's video. So as you may be aware, yesterday on Epic Games, Rennsport launched an open beta. So of course, we had to give it a try. And if we're just going to be completely open from the beginning, is it a win or is it in the bin? And for me, it's in the bin. It's not bad, but it's nothing new. We already have the likes of ACC and iRacing, which is clearly the target audience, is going to be this competitive GT3 track focused racing, but it's just not there yet. It's nothing new. There's nothing revolutionary about it. It's just another game that's not as good as the games that already exist. So I spent a couple of hours on it yesterday. I'll show you some gameplay and I'll talk about my experience. So I didn't really know too much about the game initially. Like, I'd heard of the name, I'd seen the memes, but it wasn't like this huge thing that I'm massively looking forward to. It's kind of under the radar for me, and especially with AC Evo around the corner, if that shapes up to be the game it's meant to be, the memes are gonna come true. But I guess we'll find out whenever that releases. Okay, so then from the beginning, I decided to jump in this Porsche and go to Nürburgring. The fact that you have to pay for content on an early access game, being Nordschleife, which is where ideally I would like to race, is pretty shitty, if you ask me. Especially on a game that's nowhere near ready. It's poorly optimized, it doesn't look anywhere as good as the games that's already in the market. The features are just not there. But we'll get to this. We're gonna start here. Every time I go through this bend, it lags and stutters, and even more so with this bend, like even worse. So this was during the day when I just downloaded it and just played it to see if it would work. What I actually wanted to test was to see if my hand controller works, and it did, so brownie points for that. So I came back to it on the night to come and record this video. So instead of recording the game itself, I just recorded my screen so we can see my NVIDIA overlay in the top corner. So every time we go through these corners, this thing here, if you don't know what it is, this 99% FPS, is the lowest possible frames that you can achieve at that moment in time. So you can basically go off the top one, but the minimum amount is the bottom one, is the 99%. But every time I pass through here, the frames are dropping, there's a massive lag, and this is just with me driving by myself. Imagine if you had 30 opponents, or if you're driving online with 30 people online and we're all driving through here. Like, and we don't know what the netcode is going to be like, plus this lag, plus frame drops with 30 extra cars. Like, what's that going to be like? It's going to be absolute carnage. And it wasn't just like a couple of times either, it was every single time. And my PC is not exactly a bag of shit. I have an RTX 3080 and an i7 11700K. I run most games on max settings. I'm actually on a 65-inch 4K TV. And I run everything at 4K. But what I had to do in the settings was change something from like this DirectX 12 to a different setting. And this dropped everything down. It definitely made the game more smoother. On the other setting, my GPU utilization was just sat at 99%. But anyway, moving on. I always play in VR as of recent, on every game. I've been doing Euro Truck in VR, I do AC in VR. Like, for months now, I've just been doing VR videos. And then I saw that this had VR support. I tried loading it up on VR, and it didn't work. So I googled it. You have to download programs, install this, and do like this bunch of extra shit, like jumping through hoops just to get it to work in VR. And from what I've heard, not a very pleasant experience. So I didn't try it, so I can't comment on that. On the screen, it literally shows your name 5 times, just in this mode, while I'm doing hot laps. Once you complete a lap, you get your name on the screen 5 times. So for content creators and streamers or whatever else, if you're trying to keep your personal information personal, you're gonna have to put some type of overlay on this, the same way I have. I was just going to put my camera up there, but it looks like shit. But anyway, onto the replay system then. This is absolutely terrible as well. So just to start off, the shadows are bugged. The car doesn't look like it's attached to the ground. You'll see it when it comes through this first corner. Look, the wheels aren't even moving at the same pace as they should be. You can see it there, like, it's almost like the writing on the tires is slower than the wheels. And I don't think that's like, you know, when you see tires or wheels moving and it gives the illusion that they're turning backwards. I don't even think it's meant to be that. Like even here on this corner, the rear tire looks like it's moving faster than the front tire by like a significant amount, not like a small margin. Every time the camera transitions to a new camera, it like stutters and jitters. Half the time the car barely looks attached to the road. But this ain't the funniest thing. Check out this drone cam option. It's absolutely hilarious. Whoever's flying this must be more disabled than I am. Yeah, that's enough of that. Let's just move on, shall we? So this thing, I came into the replay to take a picture for the thumbnail, and once you get rid of these overlays, you can't press FreeCam, or like there's no way to move around. But if you press FreeCam, it takes away the option to remove the overlays. So I'm stuck with using this tiny little section of the screen. There may be a way to do it with keybinds in the options. I don't know, I didn't look. It was like 1 in the morning when I was editing this. But either way, to get out of FreeCam, the only way to do it is go back to the menu. And obviously taking pictures, maybe not even for thumbnails, just because people like to take pictures, is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Also, when you do go back to the menu and you click on a replay, there's no like click and confirm or click, here's more information, play the replay. You just click on it and it takes you right in. So if you click on the wrong one, you have to sit and wait. And I clicked on one of the ones at the bottom originally because I didn't know where my replays was. So I actually have to turn on save replays in the options, which obviously I didn't know. So it would be nice if there was like a confirm button when selecting replays. And I didn't just drive around Nürburgring. I also drove the Audi on some of the track and the Hyundai around Spa. But it was pretty much the same thing. One thing we haven't touched on yet is the force feedback. It's not great. Like, it's there, but at times it isn't. It's just lacking the feeling that you want to be able to feel what the car's doing 100%. Like on the Porsche, sometimes the back end would give, and like the only way you would know is by visually looking at the screen. You don't feel it in the wheel. With the front wheel drive cars, I would say the force feedback is maybe a little bit better. You know, if you've ever drove a front wheel drive car on a wheel before, they're always like quite jerky and you do tend to get a lot of force feedback. So I would say that this is probably better, but still, it's not the best. But I think this video has gone on long enough now. So like, as a summary, I would say it's just not ready yet. Maybe in the future, it could be a good game. But when people are already deeply invested in games like iRacing and ACC, I don't see him coming away from them games to play this. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll blow up. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. But if you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you've played the game yourself, drop a comment. Let me know what you thought. And if you want to see more sim racing content, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.